guys hear me?
Let's go Gators, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go Gators, let's go. Let's go Gators, let's go.
All right, Benny, go ahead. Good evening. Something
Woo! Yeah! Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah,
It's yeah, these
yeah!
are.
Woo!
I got to tell you, I still don't know how this team did it. This is, I mean, I was pretty sure this was it. This was it. I mean, look, and here's the funny part about it. Florida did to Houston what Houston did to Auburn.
Yep.
And what was amazing was they shut Walter out pretty much till 8:10 to go. He didn't get a bucket.
Yep.
8:10. They got to give him a lot of credit for that. They got foul trouble, but they shut him out. And then at the end of the game, Kondo, who had a rough night, he missed some up close shots. He got banged around. Who got the last loose ball? Kondo got it. And who made the big defensive play to get it was Walter Clayton jumping up to make that guy a shooting foul and that was the best offensive player making a defensive play. There's a guy who had a tough night making a grabbing that. By the way, who goes on the floor for loose balls? Who practices that all the time? Houston, but not tonight, brother. It was Alex Stratton.
Yeah, I mean, it was just unbelievable. I mean, Florida basically showed that. I mean, that's what makes them the best team in the country. We talked about it. They can win a rock fight. They can win up and down. They can do any. I mean, they have just so much versatility as a team. I mean, they just shrug off the blows, the big dunk on Tommy Houck. They kept playing defense. Denzel Aberdeen came in, played big minutes. I mean, they just got so much. Elijah Martin kept the team together when the time came during the technical. I mean, it just was
Richard.
You know, I mean, and Richard was just like Walter Clayton said. Yeah. They got a bunch of guys that can hoop. It doesn't have to be him. And, you know, you look at Elijah Martin keeping him in against UConn, Walter Clayton, then Will Richard tonight. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Best team in the country, and they showed it. And we talked about adversity on the pregame show, buddy. I mean, we talked about it. And they never wavered. And I told you, watch the body language. And the body language never changed through the two technicals or anything like that. And that's why they're champions.
That was a big moment.
I was talking this morning to Rob, and I said, look, he said, what kind of game do you think this is going to be? I said, it's going to be a physical game. And these guys, it's not going to be an easy win. I said, I feel like it's two football teams going out to have a grudge match. It's like two smash mouth football teams lighting up against each other. You know what I'm going to run. You know what I'm going to do. My guy's better than your guy. I'm going to try to beat you, and I'm not going to quit. And I think all tournament long, we saw Florida do the same thing. They weathered the storm, and then they keep playing their game, and then they beat you physically. With 6 minutes in the game, they always seem to come at you, and nobody has an answer. Nobody has a bench. Nobody's got the legs. Everyone's tired.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, it's just that's what it is. And we talked about it. You weren't going to break Houston's will. We've seen in games, I think they broke Auburn's will. I think they broke, you look at the Texas A&M game at Florida earlier this year where you see teams and they just break their will. But then this was a team they had to beat. They had to go out and beat Houston, and they did it because Houston wasn't going to waver. I mean, like I told somebody, these two teams had some guys with some hair under their arms, some real men, and it was just a great basketball game. A rock fight, and Florida just went out and took it, and that's what champions do. You know, a lot of people in sports have a saying: one more point. That's all you need. Forget the score, one more point, and that's what Florida did tonight. I mean, it wasn't great, it wasn't pretty, but it had to be when you're cutting down the nets.
Yeah, I got some notes here from my play-by-play, and there's a couple of points in there I thought, I don't know about this. I wrote myself a question at the end of the last 4 minutes. Is this Walter time? But it was 42-30. They were on an 8-0 run, all right? And the biggest deficit of the tournament, and they were down. Then they were down by 10. Clayton finally got a field goal with 8-10, all right? And it was 47 all. But then what happens? Chinyalu, makes a stupid play. He gets mad and throws the ball down, gets a technical foul. Cryer missed one of those, but they got 2 free throws, and now the game was on. Clayton made a beautiful left-handed shot. Clayton made a beautiful left-handed shot and got it back in it. And Wilson came back and got him ahead 53-51. Aberdeen made a big play, 53. Oh, we think, okay, we can breathe now, but no. Houston gets a 3-pointer. And Condon makes 2 foul shots. And then Richard hits a big one. He had a great night tonight. So, and then it was 60-57, and Condon missed free throws. They couldn't get over the hump. Then when Houston stepped on the line and got the turnover, they started making mistakes. We were at that point where at 3:45, on the magical 4-minute mark, things began to happen.
Yeah, I mean, buddy, you watched a lot of these Final Fours. That's sometimes, I mean, it's that crunch time. It's where true champions reveal themselves. And I think what Florida was able to do is really dominate the on-ball pressure. I mean, I was talking to some guys, the NABC Coaches Convention is here this weekend, and I was talking to a couple high school coaches, and they were saying that the on-the-ball pressure had really increased. They were starting to close out on the three-point shooters, and I think that really kind of hurried the pace of Houston, and Houston couldn't really settle in because now they were kind of hedging over the screens, forcing them to turn the corner, but they were forcing them to turn the corner into the paint, and there just wasn't anything there. So, I mean, at that 3-minute mark, and like I told those coaches, Golden depends on you based on the analytics, not doing what you've been doing well for 40 minutes. So it may shut off at 6 minutes. It may shut off at 3.5 in this case. But he figures you're not going to consistently do the things you need to do, and then we'll make enough plays in the end to balance it out. And you saw that tonight.
They mentioned at one point Florida had only led for 17 seconds in the game.
Yeah.
17 seconds.
Yeah.
And in the last 121, they turned it up. So you can see the intensity was great. Florida got the ball. Gators were up by 1. The ball fell up. The big key play was the ball bounced off Sharp's leg. And that was a huge play with 26:5 to go. And I wrote down Walter time. Then Aberdeen missed his foul shot. And then finally, Florida got the ball back. And I said, they got to have a stopper or a rebound. Well, of course, I never thought the guy making the defensive play would be Walter Clayton. I mean, this has been Brendan all year long. They stop one guy, somebody else shows up. This next guy up today, Richard was the guy today. And to his credit, Walter, he knew it wasn't his night. They did a great job on him defensively. I got to give him credit. But he, at the end, made the winning play.
Yeah, I mean, it's your best players show up. Like I said, on championship teams, your best players show up. And to Clayton's credit, I don't know how many assists he ended up, but being able to impact the game when the ball is not going through the hole, tying together stops, getting loose balls, just making everybody else around it better. He had some errant plays, but that happens. But once again, finding ways to affect the game. I remember, I think against Texas Tech, one of the announcers said they were really impressed because, he gets so many accolades for scoring, but how well he defends is just as much a part of his game. And I think you saw that tonight, finding ways to affect the game when the shots aren't falling. And once again, we go back to what we talked about in the pregame. Watch the body language. The body language never, ever changes, and they just stay connected. And that's what, good teams, whatever sport it is, are extremely connected. And you listen to those guys talk about it. It starts with guys like not just Clayton, who deserves all the praise, but Will Richard, Elijah Martin, guys that have sacrificed to make this team what it is.
Here's a couple of notes here. They were down 6 at UConn, down 10 to Texas Tech, down 9 to Auburn, down 12 halftime to Houston. The third largest national championship comeback in NCAA history. This is a comeback team.
I mean, it was just unbelievable to see them win at the end and not go away. And it just seemingly felt like they were battling questionable calls. They were battling fatigue. They were battling themselves in the first half, couldn't make a shot. But they just, like they always seem to do, is stick to fundamentals, get back to defense, start communicating with each other on the court, find your switch. They started to figure it out after a while, but Houston wouldn't go away. They just wouldn't go away. Get credit to Houston. They came to play a full game, and they did. They gave Florida everything that they ever wanted. They're a great basketball team, but I just think Florida was not going to be denied. Walter Clayton played more than beyond inspired basketball. Todd Golden should be coach of the year, and I just believe that it was truly destiny for Florida to win tonight, and it's awesome to be a Gator tonight.
Well, the best team won, and that's what we talk about. Once again, you talk about it, team of destiny. I mean, yeah, Houston is going to push the boulder down the hill, and they want it to fall on you, and then they're going to step on you while you try to keep it up off you. But once again, like I said, Florida just punched, counterpunched, sat in the corner for a minute, regrouped, came back, counterpunched, just banging, split decision. And
I don't know. You may say the best team won. I'm not sure some people are going to be able to say that tonight.
Well, then they don't know basketball.
They just
I'm gonna be like
friends the whole time, and then now they're suddenly, maybe now they won it. We'll give them credit. I want to mention a note from our friend Randy Briggs said, "I'm tired of hearing about Houston's toughness. Gators are pretty darn tough, both physically and mentally, to survive those 6 games after being down in the last 5. TV just said we are the first school to have 3 national championships in both basketball and football. A little known fact."
Very nice. Well, I'm about to head down to the Riverwalk and hang.
Can't do that. You got to do a live show, Jack. You're doing a post-game show. You ain't allowed. This ain't vacation. Okay. Yeah, we're waiting for Franz. We're not sure when we're going to be able to get him. Hopefully soon. Might want to text Rob.
Thanks, Lauren. Take some video for us. We'll talk to you soon.
I got you. I'm going to head down, and I think they're going to have a riverboat with the trophy. But we'll definitely – I'll send you some video. I got some video for you. And, it's, once again, great night. A lot of people running around. It's just, a great night for the Gators.
All right, man. Go Gators, Lauren. Far cry than we were a couple of years ago in Salt Lake. So it's a good –
Yeah.
This is really great.
Let's springboard to the fall. To the fall.
That's right.
We're going to be doing this at the college playoff right here.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking to you tomorrow. We got our show tomorrow night. So check it out, Lauren, out tomorrow. Thanks, Lauren Meadows. Check them out on Gatorbait. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Okay. Lauren Meadows live from San Antonio. After the big win, we got 300 and some people in tonight.
Yeah,
thanks for coming in.
Well,
we are, but we've been reading them the whole time.
Allowed.
Yeah, allowed. Yes. Okay. Yeah. We've got we're the greatest LFG. That's Let's Effing Go. Football is next. That's right. Dustin O'Hara, 2025 year of the Gators. David Baldoff, where's Franz? David, you're always picking on the negative. He's coming. It's hard to get a signal out of that place right now. I lost my dad today. I'm sorry, Tawan Chilson. That's terrible. Sorry that you.
Sorry,
but God bless your family. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, just a bunch of people trying to read through the chats. There's a lot of people's going fast. It's looping itself. I have 400 people live on Facebook, on Twitter or X, and on YouTube. Just a reminder that all week we'll be talking about this. You can check out Buddy Martin. Subscribe to our channel on the Buddy Martin Show. We'll be talking about it with Rob Brown on Sidelines, SEC Sidelines in the morning tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern. You can check it out. Both of these QR codes that I popped up here will get you to subscribe to the channel, get notifications when we're live, and we'll be talking all sorts of Gator hoops. I'm sure this week as we endeavor to get checked in from Franz as he's live down there. I'm sure he's in the locker room We're all trying to get as much information as we can. If you've missed it, if you've been under a rock or whatever it may be, Florida Gators are the 2025 national champions of March Madness, buddy. It has been a while. I'll never forget when you told me when the Gators won the second national championship in a row. When we had just come here, a la 2007, to do Gator Country, and then we had all that craziness at Gaines, Vegas, and the Tim Tebow years. And I think you looked at me and said, "Well, get used to it. You'll never ever don't get used to it. You'll never see this again. You may never see something like this again." And I didn't think it would be as long as it's been, because it's been an awful drought. Because it's one thing to win in gymnastics, or one thing to win in track and field. It's one thing to win in golf, and I'm not taking away from any of those things. But to win the dance, then men's basketball, NCAA, is a big, big, big deal. And it's as big as winning a natty in football. And if you don't know that, then you don't know college athletics. What did you say, buddy?
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just looking at these comments and thinking about it. Did they want to know, did the HBC was there tonight? And somebody said, yeah, Billy was there. No, the HBC is not Billy. Okay.
No.
HBC is Spurrier. He was not there.
HBC is Steve Spurrier, a.k.a. SOS, SOA.
Yeah.
But you have also he's the ball coach, but he ain't the HBC. So.
Yeah, he's but I know that Billy was there earlier. I don't know that Billy was there tonight or not.
I no, because I saw Scott Strickland, and they showed crowd shot of Strickland on the court. I'm sure Billy was there. I mean, you got to think there's some recruiting opportunities there.
Yeah, Danny Thompson says, how many we win in a row? 12, Lanny. That's 12.
12.
Right? And I got to tell you, I'm going to fess up. And I put my hand up and say, honestly, I didn't see a way tonight, because they were not playing well. We're not shooting well. Our star offensive player couldn't get a shot off. Florida turned the ball over a lot. I'm thinking, how are they going to make up a difference like this at 12 points? How are they going to do it, And it was very, very shaky. And I'm thinking, well, I know they make a bunch of shots in a row, but nobody's making shots. Well, Richard kept them in there. They kept playing hard. And give Todd Golden credit. He knew what he wanted. He got the game in 2 minutes, and at 121, it kicked in. Mm-hmm. All the things he'd been doing, playing all those players, having that depth, all those, all the work he put in paid off. And you've got to give credit where credit's due. Mm-hmm. Houston, terrific, but they were not good enough. If I hear Charles Barkley say one more time,
yeah, I'm about done with him.
I did tonight.
He's always
but Bruce is a great coach. But Charles, Auburn got beat. Okay.
Yeah,
it's not about Auburn tonight. All right.
Yeah, but he's still stuck there. So.
Well, yeah, but please, we don't care. No. We don't care. All right. So, but anyway, so a great night. People are just popping on here. Clayton and others did their part. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, if you can't win it one way, it's like a guy who says he's a pitcher and he's out there and he's striking everybody out, and then he goes to bat and hits one out of the park for his own cause. Those are great pictures. Those, Chris?
Yeah, this is Chris Spears here. I'm trying to get
a minute word about Chris Spears. How great is Chris Spears?
How great is he? Yeah. And Fransbury, our team, our Gatorade team is pretty great.
Yeah, unbelievable team. And Lauren and probably tonight we'll have a column out of other buddy,
Francis
Chandler Reese.
Oh, Carlton Reese. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, his granddaddy was Chandler. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, you're right. You're right. Amazing greatness. Team's absolutely amazing. This is one that the grandkids and the great grandkids and their grandkids will talk about 50 years from now. This team set a precedent tonight of playing for each other, playing tough, playing smart. Like I said, I love it that at the end of the game, the guy on the floor who hit Kondo had a rough night. He got knocked around a little bit. He missed a bunch of shots. And who dove for the ball, which is something that Houston practices every day. Who is driving for the ball? None other than the guy who had a rough night. Kondo. He got that basketball, and it was because of the defensive play that Walter Clayton Jr. made on the shooter when he went up to shoot. He wasn't going to foul a three-point. That would have been a disaster to foul a three-point guy. He was not going to foul him, and he made him stop. He came down. He couldn't touch the ball because it would have gone over, and so they got the ball back. They won the game on the defensive play in the
Yeah,
end.
they did. They really did, which is appropriate, I think, as goes to kind of like how they played this whole tournament. Last 12 games have been exciting to watch. Somebody just put in there, Brendan and Granddaddy Buddy. Yeah, hey, you're my granddaddy, just so you know, buddy.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
that's right. No, actually, I'm 51. That's my father. We just got good genes. Thank you so much. Where you been? That's okay. 600 of you on
Watch
tonight.
out for Stella Martin.
She's the real star. 600 of you checking in tonight. Thank you so much. Make sure do a shameless plug for the place that makes us money, buddy. Check out GatorBaitMedia.com. I'm going to have more and more stuff to post. France Beard, Lauren Meadows, some pictures and all that stuff. Check it out for all the latest on the Natty and the Stellies, because I'm sure there's going to be a parade.
Oh,
Gotta go to. I'll be there at the Ville. Maybe you can be on the. Maybe it should be on. You should be on the float.
You should be on the float.
I feel like I should be on the float.
France is going to be on the float. This is his team. I'm
Absolutely.
happy for France because all year long he's been telling us, "Watch out for this team." They're going, "Yeah, right, France." And then when they got beat, creamed by Georgia, we just said, "Yeah, there's your Gators right there." And he said, "Hey, they're okay. They're going to be all right." And we called him a homer and laughed. And France is right. He's right. Did it again. So, nothing wrong with. And then he says Shane was right. This team may be better than the 806s. They beat Houston at their own game. That's exactly right, Len. You're right. It was their own game. It was what they did to Auburn. Florida did to Houston. And in the end, that's what won. And I agree with Shane when he said, we talked this morning, and he said this several times. He said, I think Walter Clayton Jr. is the best basketball player I've ever seen in Florida. Now, Shane hadn't been there as long as we have. But he said, if Florida wins tonight, they'll have the best basketball team and the best player ever on their end. You know what? Tonight, they can say that.
Yeah,
they are the best team, the way they won and fought, and they have the best player. Well, I give it up. I take off my hat to Walter Clayton Jr. It was amazing.
I said to my friend who was in Denver, he was excited. He texted me. He said, "Oh yeah, it's a great night. It's a great night." I said, "Look, with 6 minutes left in the game, somewhere around there, you're going to see Walter Clayton Jr. do something to take over the game."
You were 4 minutes early.
That was 4 minutes early. So I said, he was at a bar. I said in Denver, I said, you bet everybody in the bar this game is the Gators are going to win this game. I had no doubt in a sense of watching this team from experience come back and win. It just feels like the Tim Tebow years where he just didn't. He can't be denied. He just has that it factor, that win factor. That even though I played a horrible game potentially factor, it's all about the last 2 minutes or whatever he's got to do. He's going to do it. Those are the things you can't coach. Those are the things that you look for in every player. And that's what makes you great. I think he is going to go down one of the greatest, if not the greatest guard in Florida history. I said the other day, that we had a discussion about the great guards in Florida history. And I said, the jury is still out on Walter Clayton Jr. because he has no hardware. Well, guess what? He's got hardware now.
You got it now. He'll get the MVP too because he led score in the tournament and all what he did there. And so Charles Barkley talks about how proud he is of Auburn. I'm pretty proud of Florida, and I'm really proud of Walter Clayton to suffer what he suffered through tonight. Didn't get his first basket until 8 minutes and 10 seconds to win the game. Did he go around like a hangdog? No. He was in the game every play, fighting through it. And it's tough. It's like when you go to play baseball, Brandon, you remember, and you go 0 for 10. You don't have a whole lot of confidence when you go into bat, you know?
No. Well, you saw some of that Florida where at the beginning of the second half, I felt like they're getting a lot of fouls and they were sort of nervous to sort of play defense a little bit, you know. You get a little tenuous. You think, oh, I don't get in foul trouble. You start, it's like when you're a pitcher, you start aiming it, right? You got to get into the flow of the game. Forget about making a mistake, and shooters keep shooting. But you said this earlier in the year, and I'll reiterate it 100 more times. So you said when Todd Golden went through all that stuff that he went through at the beginning of the year, and the allegations and all of those things, and then they overcame it. There was no charges, nothing happened, and you said Now, is this Gator team going to be emboldened because they went through something together early on, right? They went through something that forced them to circle the wagons and believe in one another and look at the man to your left and the man to your right and say, we're going to go into battle and we're going to do this together, whether or not anyone likes us or not, because we're going to band together. And you said in your article on GatorBait, it could go one way or another. Teams could be obliterated, or they can also be emboldened. And you were 100% correct about that.
Well, Tim Tebow always says iron sharpens iron, so we'll see. But it certainly did work out that way. I got to give. I can't say enough good about Todd Golden. What a genius young coach. Youngest guy since Valvano.
39 years old.
Yeah, and he went through a tough situation. He knew who he wanted to play for him and the system they wanted. He knew his defense wasn't good enough last year. They got better, and they kept beating all these teams, these great teams like Auburn, Alabama. Oh, they're great, and yet no one gave any credit. And I said this earlier in the show this morning. I don't want to sound like a homer here. I'm pretty proud of these Gators, but I must say that I don't want to just continue to hear Florida disrespected as they were all year, especially that night I watched our friend Woody Page on Round the Horn, and he was on with 3 young people I didn't know. Sorry, no offense to them. And they said, well, who can win this thing? And they said, well, Duke's got probably the greatest team ever. Really? Yeah, they think Cooper Flagg might be the greatest Blue Devil ever to play the game. I'm thinking, did I miss something? Because I've seen a lot of great Blue Devil teams, and I'm thinking, well, maybe they know more than I do. I'm thinking, and they said, well, yeah, but who else could win it is Auburn. Auburn's the best team. Okay, Auburn's the best team. All right, we heard that part, right? Okay, and they said, well, Alabama's got a shot here too. Okay, I mean, they went through the whole list for the whole game on Around the Horn, and not one time did they mention these guys, the Florida Gators. I think tonight, what we have to, by the way, for Amanda Herrera, you don't have to start it over. You can get this show anytime on this channel. It's there. It stays up there. You can go back and watch it tomorrow or whatever. It'll be there. So I want to say that we think here in Gator Nation that this is just for us and that we get to celebrate it, and they will be able to tell our grandkids about it and all that sort of stuff. And that's all well and good. Tonight, the Florida Gators showed out for the whole world to see. There's a whole lot of people in Texas and Virginia and Massachusetts and Oklahoma and different places who watch this basketball team and think, man, this is some serious ball right here. They made a name. They already had the name. And now suddenly, like I said in my column this morning, if you think Florida's just a football school, you're crazy. All of a sudden, this is big, and it's been big for everybody, and we've all enjoyed it. As we say, George is our regular here. I'm feeling a lot of love in this room, and yeah, I get it, George. We are too. Lenny Thompson says, shout out to UGA for taking Mike White. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it was time for Mike to go, and he went, and it worked out well for Florida. George says, I'm never right on football. I'm never wrong on basketball. Well, there you go. That's a good thing.
Well, I think we crashed the site there, buddy. Went over 1,000 people there really fast. So sorry. Had to go to the backup server. I hope everything's okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, folks. Well, they're still hanging in. They're all right in. No. Yeah, so we're gonna hang in there for a while until Fran shows up.
Okay.
My wife needs to go to bed. She's over trying to steal it. Good night,
right. Yeah.
So the bottom line is, go ahead and make your comments. We'll try to address all those we can. I have not heard back from Franz or Rob at this point in time.
Yeah.
Well,
they're working. They're working.
I get it. So am I. I'm going to be writing a column tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning I'll be up at 6:30 with my friend Shane Matthews, and then we'll probably do some kind of show after that. And then we'll do whatever. It's okay.
It's okay. Look,
what we do, right?
If you know us, you know what we've been through. We know we've been on this, for a long time. A la 2017, and then even before that. So,
started back where it really started, Brandon. in the year we went down and bought the station in Ocala, and you were a 19-year-old producer,
20.
and we were sitting there with this new station we just bought with our friends Gordon and Jeff, and it was time for us to go on the air, and nobody knew how to pull the plug. And here's this smart-ass kid from Colorado who says, "Get out of the way." He just jumps in behind the seat and never has seen this board. And in a matter of seconds, Brendan Martin had us on the air. Sports Talk was born that day. And we were the first full-time sports talk show anywhere around this part of the country. We were glad of that. We had a good run, but it didn't last. Came back, went to Gator Country. We did that for a while. You were the first person to stream. People had never heard of streaming. I remember you went out to California.
Anyway, but I know. But I'm just saying, we've been at it for a while. Also, your son, it goes back even before that. So we've got, we've just got so much history, family history. That my point was that this is a family show. We're not perfect. We do what we have. We have a small budget, and we do what we can do. And we do it for free. But we don't make that much money doing it. But we do it because we love what we do. We love working together, and we love being Gators. And this whole thing started out as this really, truly, we wanted to say, let's be one sovereign Gator nation again together. Let's all be Gators again together. So tonight we get to be that sovereign Gator nation team. Put all your differences aside, get it all out, whatever. Hug your Gator, man. Hug your friend, the guy or the gal that's you haven't got along with, maybe the neighbor. Hey, man, Gators won. Yeah, we cut down the nets tonight. We got hardware. We get to say this for an entire next 364 days. We get to call ourselves national champions and get to have that trophy. And buddy, segue that into, I know you don't know, this is Franz's medium, but how many of these guys are going to come? How much of this team is going to come back?
Well, the guards aren't. So,
right, I know that. So I'm going to ask you.
They have Aberdeen. They'll have, they have their bigs. They'll lose Chaniello, I believe, because another year. France has to go over this. I think they lose 4 or 5 people at least. But they got the core of a decent team coming back. And they got their bigs are back, and their guard play will be okay. But it'll never be like this. You're talking about 3 exceptional leaders in those guys tonight that stood up. And they had the deal now where if one was not playing well, the other one picked them up. If they couldn't make shots, they made defensive plays. They were there for each other all during the time. So those 3 guys will always be special. I think it's time to consider, and I've talked about this, a statue for Walter Clayton Jr. Now, it would take probably 5 years to get it, but if you're talking about who is Walter Clayton, is he Spurrier, is he Werfel, whatever. Well, if you take Billy Donovan, just named to the Hall of Fame, and you take which one of those guys you think should be, we'll ask Franz from the 06-07 team, and probably Noah, and then we take Walter Clayton. We need to have 3 statues out in front of the O'Connell Center for those dudes, because this has been special, and this has been 3 national championships for the basketball program. It's time to start talking about it. Florida's not just a football school anymore.
No, it's not. Not anymore. Not anymore. A lot of your comments coming in tonight. Everyone's excited. Some of the guys that come in here all the time. Tommy Seal, 18-year-old drought is over. Where's Brent English? My boy Brent English. Florida has entered blew up.
Out celebrating.
Of course he is. Brent, I think I want to say is one of the first 10 people that's ever been in Gatorade, a Gator Nation Kingdom, the G&K, old school where we started. Hashtag G&K.
How many G&Kers do we have out there at night?
Yeah. If you're a G&K, throw your hands in the air. You've been around for a while. We still have admins, if you can believe it. But Brent English, my man, Brent, you're out there having some drinks. You're thirsty tonight, my man.
Yeah.
Look, if anyone, Brent and Lauren Meadows are good friends, and they travel to all these games. Hey, man.
Hey, David Baldolph is a GNK guy.
Oh, yeah, David, one of the first guys. A lot of these guys in here. And then the new guys are the regulars. We got George in here that's on here all the time. There's so many people. Right now, we're kicking over about 850 live people who are on the show right now. Drop a comment in the chat room, guys. This is our time. This is your moment. This is it. Come on, break it out. I just opened up the chat room. There you go, Brandon Inglis. That's true. GNK for life. There you go. Listen to that.
Yeah.
That if you don't know what the Gator Nation Kingdom is, get on Facebook, join the group. We are one of the core Gator groups on Facebook, and we keep our numbers as small as we can. We don't care. I think we're running around 7,200 members because we really try to keep only Gator fans in there and really try to maintain it. It looks like we've got Rob Brown checking in. Rob Brown, welcome to the big show, my man.
Hey, all right. I heard y'all. That was awesome stuff, and what a game. And I kept, man, everybody's phones were blowing up, and I looked on there, and Audrey said, "Are they doing a pop-up show?" And something came up on X, and I've been listening to y'all, and then I was like, "Oh crap!" That buddy said something about coming on. First off, I picked in my bracket Florida to beat Houston. That was my national championship
And
game.
you made a bet, pal, so you're golden there too. You're cash shoulder. You're buying from now on.
That's right. But here's what's crazy. I'm with you. Again, you know what he paid, but these young people, a lot of them, they're click farmers. Why they didn't pick up on Florida. I've been texting with Coach John Brady. He unfortunately had to be on a plane tonight and caught the game in the air, but he said that last 6 minutes was all you needed to see. And he's going to be on with us in the morning. But he said, and Brendan, you remember this back in early November, he said, look, watch Florida. Watch them. And I agreed with him. And I remember saying, if Franz, you learn so much from Franz, you know that, as we do from everybody on here. But he said when Hanlockton came back, gave up his red shirt for the good of the team. He loves Florida. And finally, I heard Todd Golden saying tonight, this Gator team, they love each other. The coaches love them. They love the coaches. They love playing for the University of Florida. I mean, there's a lot of pride and tremendous pride. But I kept saying about Florida, Franz is right. 5 big guys, that's 25 big fouls to give. But if you know basketball, you had to love this Florida team. I think they won 18, 19 of the last 20, something like that. They're not lucky. They just know when they get down, some teams think they're going to win. Florida knows they're going to win. So congratulations. That was, as my kids say, it's a word. Brendan, I'm sure Stella says it, ginormous. It's a really big deal. Congratulations. I mean, it's huge.
It's huge.
Is that technically a word, Brendan?
It's more huge, I think. Hey, Stella, is ginormous one of your cool words? I got 1,000 people that want to know right now. Huh? Did you come in here and give me a Go Gators? Come on. She should be asleep, but she's not asleep because she was watching the game.
How you doing?
Stella, we got all these people on. Give me a Go Gators, would you?
Love of my life, my granddaughter.
Right over left. Right hand over left. That's how we do it. Right over left. There it is. There it is. You do the chomp. There it is, Stella. Nicely done.
By the way, she'll be playing
soccer
one day. She'll be playing soccer.
Love you. Careful. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, but the cool thing was that the guys on TV and a lot of these national people, yeah, they were late to picking up on Florida, but y'all were way ahead of the curve. Lauren, Franz was just killing it. And then his sidebar stories about, Kelvin Sampson. And that ending was incredible, but give Alex Condon credit for having the basketball IQ to do something and then get rid of it. That was, I mean, he had one point.
Condon for having the basketball.
Yeah.
The team that Texas is driving on the floor all the time is Houston. The guy
Yeah.
on the floor with the basketball for the
Yeah.
winning play was Alex Condon.
Yeah. Alex Condon, when he grabbed that ball and then got rid of it, that was a helpless feeling. But the thing about Florida is they never stop moving. And I heard you talking about Walter Clayton Jr. I mean, he didn't have a basket till about 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a pity party. He wasn't feeling sorry for himself. He lives by that motto. Don't worry about anything about who gets the credit or anything like that. If you live like that, you'll get everything you want out of
Never
life.
too
That was a
high,
great
never
one.
too low. That's what his
Yeah.
coach was.
Yeah.
And then he made a great defensive play to stop the shooter.
Yeah.
All he has to do is have a hand on a place to give that guy 3 shots.
Yeah.
If he fouls him, and able to redirect his shot, he jumped up, came down, couldn't touch the ball because there would have been double dribble or whatever. And then the ball bounced over. Who got it? The guy who'd been struggling all night, missing shots.
Yeah.
Alex Condon had the ball, and the game was over.
Yeah. Walter Clayton, just he is a player, and really he's the MVP of the tournament. I don't know if they've given that award yet. Did they give it tonight? But he's got to be the MVP of the 6-team tournament, certainly of the Final Four. Did he?
He will be. I don't know. He'll be the MLP, what do you want to call him? He's the leading scorer of the tournament. So he's got to get. We haven't. Well, I'll check Twitter and see. But right now we haven't heard. We probably won't get it till tomorrow. Friends might know. He's in there right now in that locker room, I'm sure, laughing it all up. I'm happy for France.
Oh, me too.
Mr. Gator basketball.
Yeah.
He's been doing this a long time. And France, at this point in time, by the way, he's got a serious knee injury. Going to have to have surgery. He needed this validation one more time at 73 years old. He remembered the 06, 07 team, loved them. Florida basketball has been kind of down, but now they're back. And this validated that for France. And I'm as happy for him as I am for anybody.
Well, and he's been on this, and because he remembers Kelvin Sampson's dad. I mean, he's been around this for a long time. And I was talking with Franz. I've talked to him so much like y'all do the last few days. I lost track, but I think, this morning he was on the show.
Yeah, he's on this morning.
Yeah,
and
he was
on the show. Remember me? I'm Buddy Martin.
I know.
Hi, I'm Brendan, the producer. How are you?
No, I'm just saying, I knew he'd been on the show, but I'm saying, I remember talking to him, and he was going to get breakfast at some place in San Antonio. But he writes with a sense of urgency, like the great writers do about football. He and Scarborough and you are doing it. And we're getting that now in the South for basketball. But as far as the Gators not getting the attention, that sucks, is what it is. It's the
doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter.
The attention.
Yeah,
it
doesn't matter.
More.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because these are the kind of shows you should be watching.
Yeah,
the shows
it doesn't matter.
Like Rob's and Buddies, and these are the shows that you should be watching because this is where the real information of the people that know what they're talking about.
I hate to say we told
you. It's true, Brendan.
We told you.
We told you.
Yeah.
Stop watching. There's a reason the ESPN's dwindling. Those people don't know anything. They just got producers that fill their ears and all that. They don't follow the beat. You know what they do? They watch these shows. That's what they do.
Well, Kevin was talking about it.
Yeah,
being too big. And I wanted to say their problem is they're too big to cover anything. Yeah. Remember, even Feinbaum's show now has lost its luster because there's so many teams to get involved. Got to get Texas, Oklahoma in here now also, and they don't have any room for anybody to talk about the nuts and bolts. Nobody there to get on to talk about what's going on with the Auburn football team, what's going on with the Florida basketball team, etc. And when you lose that special feeling that you get as being a part of something special.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And Brendan, you're right. The story came out from Saturday Down South. I want to get more into that this week. We will. About ESPN Game Day becoming an in-studio production. And we talked about that the other day, buddy. That's stupid. The real stories in the podcast world, like what we're doing, and Brendan knows this better than me, but that's where the truth is. We don't have guardrails. We can go whatever direction we want. And people will say Houston blew it. No, they didn't. The defense that Florida put on them at the end of the game, that's the damn story.
which is the blueprint for Florida basketball.
Yeah.
The last 2 or 3 minutes belong to the Florida Gators always.
Yeah.
But defense comes because they had effort. They were not tired. They were able to extend themselves another 2 minutes. And those 2 minutes were critical.
But they've been winning games like that all season long. We all remember the Georgia game, but remember they were down by 26 against Georgia in Athens and came back and took a 1 or 2 point lead.
Yeah, and then lost.
So that told you right there that they were the Gators are great at finding excuses to win. When it looks like, we're checking out, they don't. And you had other teams in the SEC, Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama. They didn't get the job done. It's just the way it is. But this conference, this basketball season, how much fun have we had as fans every night this basketball season? And putting it to bed I think the days of basketball's over late Monday night in the Final Four championship game. Those days are gone. We're going to be talking about basketball year round more than we ever have. And if some of the schools have been that way.
You can't win with a bunch of 3 stars. You know that. I hear it from football fans every day. You can't win with 3 stars. Ball 5. How many 5s does Florida have? None.
0.
And so that formula, it's can be true in football as well. We are so in love with this recruiting mania and stars, all this stuff. We think that, they got to have every 5. No, you got to have a good team. It's called TEAM team, and we saw that tonight. That is a perfect picture of a team, and that's what every sport needs to have. You know this, Rob. You talk about it all the time. It kills you. It doesn't matter about the money. If you get them to play right, it doesn't matter who makes what.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody complaining about what Walter Clayton was making. Did you?
No. No. You know what's cool is that as a fan, you can think about the Gators starting lineup. Alex Condon, Perth, Australia. Elijah Martin, Summit, Mississippi. Walter Clayton Jr., Lake Wales, Florida, I believe. Think about this. That's a cool story that these names are going to be in their hometowns. That's when you've got a team for the ages. Like Brendan, this growing up with your dad. I'm the same way. I could go end to end and tell you the height and weight and the hometown of all the guys on all the teams. This Gator team will go down as a team like that. Walter Clayton Jr., I don't think he was rated in basketball, but he was a 4-star in football. And he comes in here now, and y'all have forgotten more about the Gators than I have. I know a lot about Florida, but you got to think about, where does he rank all-time great? Did y'all see Horford at the game?
Yes, I did.
That was
awesome. That was awesome.
Shit. That was pretty cool. But and we hear about NIL, we hear about money. I didn't hear any player out there talking about himself.
Well, and I was going to say that, Rob, in the space of NIL and all the transfer portal and everything that's changing and all the things we're talking about, at what is today's college athlete is somewhat greedy and they need this money and they got to drive Hellcats and everything else.
Yeah.
This team was the opposite of that. Yeah. This team was old school.
Yeah. And it's refreshing. And I think that's why
I have to celebrate. I have the official word here right now from the University of Florida. Welcome home. Gators announced championship rally on Tuesday. Plans for a full championship will be announced soon. It says Dateline San Antonio, the national champion Florida Gators. Boy, it sounds good. Men's basketball team will return to Gainesville on Tuesday, that's tomorrow, and host a welcome back rally with the Florida students and fans at approximately 1:30 at Flavette Field on the UF campus.
That's on Tuesday?
Tomorrow.
What time? 1:30?
1:30 at Flavette Field.
I know exactly where Flavette Field is.
And here's Brendan, there's a link here. It says anybody who's in media who wants to come can submit your credential request right now. Okay. I will forward this to you and France. France won't even be back by then. Probably.
Submit me. I'm going to go.
All right, that'd be a good. And by the way, I don't think Chris will be there either. So
wow. Hey, I got a camera. Don't worry. I
Well, I know you know how to
I'm
scout.
not just a really good-looking guy. Okay.
Yeah, well, you are that.
I got a little extra in the tank for you.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll also be talking to Kevin Skarbinski. Scarbo knows he has got. I think Coach John Brady is coming on to do an exclusive with him tomorrow.
Yeah, and he'll be on our show in the morning, and then with him, that'll be awesome. I tell you what's really cool is you think about the way this game played out tonight. Florida gets down by what, 12?
Yeah.
That was their signature. Kevin Skarbinski put something out on X. Did y'all see it? I think if Walter Clayton has more, if Florida has more, was it something about the rebounds and some stat, but Skarbinski really did a good job of chronicling. But the key was most players that are big time stars would have had a fit. Most of them would have. We all know that. Walter Clayton, he wasn't a quarterback in high school, but he's a quarterback on the basketball court. He kept everybody calm and said, look, we got this. And Elijah Martin, everybody had some things. They weren't going their way, but they're calm. You looked over there. One time, the Gator coaches blew up on that one call. And they called it technical.
A bad decision by the coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of them. Someone kept asking me, why are they missing so many shots? I said nerves. And then you heard Kelvin Sampson. He goes, hey, this didn't Wednesday night in the middle of January. You're playing the University of Sasquatch.
Yeah, the late Dan Reeves, who was coaching in Denver when I was there, he talked about pressure, what it was like. So this is pressure. I'll put a 2x4 on the ground, 15 feet long, and say, walk on that 2x4, and you'll say, no problem. You walk right to it. Now take that 2x4 and hoist it 10 feet in the air. Let's see how well you do on it now. That's pressure. It changes everything, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing. They were clanking everything. It was a horrible first couple of minutes. And I know that's part of basketball, but boy, I tell you, talk about patience. Those guys got it, and Walter Clayton Jr. is the king of that patience. Who would ever thought he'd be a factor in that game while he was playing? He was going to find a way to make a play.
Well, yeah, because the shots weren't the 3-pointers at first. They were both combined 0 for 14, and then finally somebody cracked the label. And once you do that, it changes everything. But it's how you hang in there when things aren't going your way. Because if you collapse and fall apart, you can be down by 20. Yeah. And against a team like Houston, you know, you don't want to. But Florida, that was Florida's signature. To fall behind by 10, 12 points.
I'm a little tired of it, and that's, by the way. You know, when John Elway was playing football, he had a knack for winning games late, like the last couple of minutes, you know. I remember Brendan about 3 or 4 years into it when he kept winning games. And when I went down to the interview, I said, John, do you ever get tired of this? He said, yeah, I hate it. It's nerve-wracking. I don't like it. I want to win, to be ahead going into the game, but I have no choice. So it's nerve-wracking. And to do that with that kind of calm and the poise is amazing. And that goes right back to the coach. And I will say what a great job Todd Golden has done. So, I don't know what's happening in Gainesville. We'll get a report out of there. Brendan, I don't know how long we'll wait for France.
I think we'll probably just call it. It's been almost an hour. I think everyone's 1,000 people on. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, hold on, I'll give him a quick call and see.
Well, he's working. It's late. It's hard to get. It's hard to get a signal out of there right now. It's just tough. It's real tough. You've got all the cell phones.
You'll be on in the morning, right?
We'll be on in the morning. We've got all week to talk about it. Gators, we've had a good show tonight. We want to get up and say, we're going to talk about it in the morning with Rob. We got several shows this week. We're going to have a great show. I'm going to try to be in Gainesville tomorrow. Maybe we can bump the Scarborough thing, but look, we're going to do our thing here, and it's going to be exciting. And, sadly enough, we have no more basketball, Rob.
I know. I mean, it really is. I think about all these nights, these cold nights in the winter, and Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, the SEC, and then we got the other games. But Brendan, it has been incredible watching this, and again to see it come to fruition. You're right that there's going to be a seismic shift, I believe, more and more. This is where you get your best information. Like you told me, You're flying over 40,000 feet, you get the flyby. Then you drill down local, and that's what we're bringing to the deal. And nobody, every time I was watching this game tonight, I kept thinking to myself, I've heard this from friends or you or Buddy or Lauren or somebody about this team. And it's like you really embed with a team when you got a media crew like this that goes above and beyond the call of duty. And I imagine tomorrow when that team gets back, it's going to be like the Beatles getting off the plane in 1964 to go to Shea Stadium, buddy. You know, that was a long time ago, but it's going to be a ginormous event.
That's a legitimate word according to Stella, so it's okay.
Did you get hold of Franz?
He didn't answer. He's working, like you say. He's buried right now, so we'll let him go. We'll get him tomorrow morning. Let him just get a night's sleep, maybe.
I think he's having fun though.
It's work. It's not fun. It's hard work.
Yeah, no, it is, but it's not work to him. He loves that.
It's work. Trust me. You might say it's not work, but you ain't ever been there.
Yeah.
It's like saying, well, you must love your job. You get to work with money. That's not work. You know, it's work. It's hard.
No, it's brutal.
Work and it's hard work. And when you're 73, it's even harder. So Francis is hanging. He's done a great job this week. And like Brendan said, let him get a little bit of rest tonight. We'll get after it tomorrow. I'll see you guys on the other side tomorrow.
And when's he coming back? Is he going to be available in the morning?
We don't know anything. We'll find out. Brandon, we'll be in touch.
We'll hunt that little guy down. Don't you worry. So,
Brendan, do you have anything special to go out on here besides just our song?
No, I don't have anything special, buddy. I've got a vodka full of Taco Bell drink. I don't know what you want from me right now.
How about Don't Back Down? You have that? Maybe.
No, buddy, it's a copyright infringement.
I know, but you played it.
No, Dad, we can't. They'll just mute us. They'll just mute us, Dad. I know you think that we can just play it, but we can't. They're just going to mute us. They're going to tell us no.
I'll sing it, Dad.
Nope. All right. That's what I think we're going to pass on that tonight. We're just going to.
I'm going to bed.
Thank you very much, Buddy Martin, the great Buddy Martin. Thank you, buddy. Say hello to your beautiful wife, Dawn. Buddy, love you. I mean it. There goes Dad. Rob. We'll see you in the morning. Check us out. Rob is SEC Sidelines, and we're going to have a whole bunch of shows. So thank you, Rob. Go Gators. Sorry about Auburn, and you did pick it right. Rob Brown, the great prognosticator, the great Rob Brown. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, Robert. Be well.
See
Robert
you, man.
Brown. All right, there we go. So I got all the buttons and controls, and I say goodnight to you all. I love you all. It's been a really good ride. So anyways, guys, stop following, like, subscribe, I don't know, all the stuff. It's great to be a Gator tonight. See my lights? See the lights? I've had these lights since 2007. Oh yeah, I light them up when we win. Sometimes I put them in the front yard, but until the neighbors complain. Anyways, folks, check us out tomorrow. Check everything out. Go Gators! Celebrate with your friends. Remember, one sovereign Gator Nation. Be nice to your friends and family. Be nice to everybody else. Have a good night. And remember, it is great to be a Florida Gator. Let's go!